Riverside Lodge in Groot Brakrivier maak steeds geskiedenis. As deel van Baines Lodge Internasionaal, huisves dit een van CSN se 3 gesondheidsklinieke. Hier word gaste gehelp om drasties gewig te verloor en van leefstylsiektes soos diabetes en hoë bloeddruk verlig te word. Kry binne 10 dae 'n splinternuwe lyf. CSN-kenners leer jou om gesond te eet en te leef hier by die kliniek of met 'n tuisprogram. Die CSN-leefstyl word ondersteun deur natuurlike produkte wat ook by die kliniek te koop is. Hier het ek 45 kilos verloor en my lewe teruggekry. Vandag is ek gesond, sonder enige hoë bloeddruk of cholesterol en my pasaangeer is afgesit. Danksy CSN. Bespreek vandag jou plek en bestel produkte by csnc.co.za.
A great welcome to all our viewers. We have the privilege to be at the Cullinan Hotel in the beautiful Cape Town. And our guest today is Sally Ann Creed from Creed Nutrition.
Thank you, Hayla. Sally Ann, welcome to our program today. Could you maybe tell our viewers a little bit more about who is Sally Ann and how you became interested in nutrition?
Thank you so much. It's lovely to be with you here in Cape Town. I've been sick for my whole life, and about 22 years ago, I feel I was led by God to actually watch a television program, and on this program this guy explained how he had actually, through real food, he had changed his life. And so I went to see him. He was a doctor and he lives in Australia now, and in 3 months I had my life back. I was on 17 scripted drugs for chronic asthma. I had horrific panic disorder, and I was only 30 and I was bedridden at that time. So I'm very, very passionate about seeing people's lives changed because I've experienced it firsthand.
Sally, well, we know you from way back, about 14 years ago, when we decided to do the diet club for the simple sake of losing weight. And we really didn't have a clue. We just wanted to diet, and I mean, we've lost weight. She had gained a few kilos, and I mean, I had a wedding coming up, so we decided to lose some weight. And we were, strangely enough, successful with it. But it wasn't new to us. Diet was like a daily planning, living thing. We would gain 10 kilos, lose 10 kilos. And we did it again. Obviously, this time, for some other odd reason, we lost much more than 10 kilos, and people started following us. And we then decided to have a diet club. Yeah, if you want to be famous, just lose 50 kilos, type of thing. But we had no idea about wellness. And then we got your first book, Let Food Be Your Medicine. And I mean, the rest is history. I contacted you. I said, listen, this is such a brilliant book. I knew nothing of wellness, knew nothing of nutrition. We just knew about weight loss and wanting people to diet. Now today we've changed from the diet club to the anti-diet generation. Because through that first encounter with your book, we just decided we know nothing. And it's such an amazing journey in terms of wellness and nutrition. And you were the catalyst with that. So it is so good to have you on our show today.
Yeah, it was such a lovely time I spent actually with you and all of your ladies at that time. It was very special. And I was still newly well, really, from years and years of illness. And I had actually been in hospital probably 10 times every year in ICU, on drips and in all sorts of tents and things. So when I got well, I was extremely motivated to help other people. And all I wanted to do was find out how could it be possible that what goes into your mouth can change your life, because my life was changed forever. And it's now 22 years later, and I'm healthier today than I've been in all my life. I'm stronger today, I'm happier, I'm in better health. So I actually studied in Australia, and I came home and I opened a practice. I didn't know what I was doing at that stage, but I got all my friends well, and then I had people coming to me in droves, and I've never looked back. I've written these books and a couple of others which I forgot to put out actually, but anyway, I've written a couple of books. I've got 3 coming up this year, and my passion is seeing especially God's children get well. That is my absolute passion. So even if I do nothing else, just to help touch lives and see the children of God experience health, to me is everything.
We really experience that people perish because of a lack of knowledge. And I wouldn't say that Christians eat more wrong than other people, but, and I'm going to say a Hela thing, and I mean, Teresa, please forgive me in due course ahead of time. But it feels to me that because Christians do a little sin, they don't smoke, they don't drink excessively, they don't do adulterous stuff and supposed to, and pornography and all this rubbish. For them, the chosen sin is eating, and it is just so innocent, but it isn't innocent because it can ruin your life, it can ruin your health, and it can ruin God's plan for you. And I think you really, with what you've witnessed, is that your life was changed forever. You were from bedridden to writing books, helping people. So we really need to realize how important the choices is that we make. And if we can share that with our viewers, that is brilliant.
Thank you so much, Sally Ann, for sharing that with us. We're going to go to the kitchen now to Johan and go and see what he's going to cook up for us this week. And I'm sure each of you are going to enjoy what he's done in the kitchen. Thank you.
Kykers, ons is by Johan in die kombuis en ons weet hy gaan vir ons vandag heerlike pizza gaar maak. So verduidelik vir ons watter bestanddele gaan jy gebruik, Johan?
Ja, dit is tweedelig. Die een is die basis. Die basis bestaan basies uit koring wat dan ons vars gaan maal. Hier is die meel wat ons al klaar so 'n bietjie gemaal het, net vir julle wys hoe lyk koring wat vars gemaal is. En sout en water. Net suiwer water. So is net 3 bestanddele vir die basis. Ja, hy laat weer en so basis, né? Die koring en die sout en die water kos jou minder as R1 vir 1 basis.
So dis nie so duur om gesond te leef soos mense sê nie. Nee. Mense is altyd, jy weet, dis duur om gesond te leef.
Die bestanddele vir die toppings, né, is
Wij gebruiken een Afrikaanse boerlaag.
Ja,
Vulsel.
So die topping,
Ja.
of die boerlaag, die bestanddele.
Ja.
kan regio weer opsies wees weer, maar ons hou daarvan, ons maak altyd as die pizza baas nou na 7 minute in die oond was en hy kom uit dan is die tamatiesous reeds reg. Ons vat gewoonlik songedroogde tamaties en tamaties en ons 'n bietjie olyfolie en 'n klein bietjie water en heuning naby en ons maak 'n lekker tamatiesous.
Heerlik.
Maar die tamatiesous ou weet nou presies wat in dit is, né?
Ja.
Jy kan sommer nog 'n bietjie knoflook aan sit. Goed. Ja, die ander bestanddele vir die toppings. Weet ons maak 'n lekker maalvleisie, as 'n bietjie olywe, ons pit dit en natuurlik kaas oor dit en dan kan jy nog mushrooms oor sit, sampioene en bietjie koriander. Daar's legio opsies.
Wel sy.
Ja.
Nou as ons terugkom, dan kom ons hoor hoe word die pizza aan mekaar gesit. Sien julle later.
Shake up and slim down the Mana way.
Welcome back, viewers. Sally Ann, can you give us a differentiation between the so-called healthy foods and whole foods?
With pleasure. I'm probably going to tramp on a lot of toes here, but unfortunately we are told to eat things like margarine, and that is basically plastic. It's edible plastic. So we should be eating real butter. So that is a whole food, and it's been around for thousands of years. It's just cream and butter and cream and salt, but margarine is a chemical brew, and it undergoes a whole lot of horrible processes. So if you just eat real butter, you'll be healthier. You've got healthy whole grains, but in fact they are not healthy at all. Grain is one of the most dangerous things that you can put into the body. It completely destroys your digestive tract, your thyroid, your brain. It's very, very bad for us because it's a long story. So I would say if you're looking for starches, rather look for something like sweet potato and butternut and vegetables. They're full of starches. We have no need for grain in our diet whatsoever. And although that may sound a little radical, you can have things like quinoa and millet and a few of those things. You'll be an enormously amount healthier if you can eat like that instead of relying on bread all the time. There are also another very, very important thing are seed oils. The vegetable oils that we are told are polyunsaturated and are healthy for us. They clog our arteries, they lead to disease, they are very, very dangerous. We need olive oil or avocados or proper nuts, not nut and seed oils, ever, ever, ever. So any oil out of a nut or a seed, you must never use in your body. But olive oil, it's out of a fruit's pip, and macadamia nut oil, and fresh nuts, and lots of fish. Those are the healthy fats.
So macadamia nut oil is a good oil.
It is, yeah.
And coconut oil is a good oil.
And coconut oil is superb.
Yeah,
it's a saturated fat, so people get very hysterical about it, but it's a special kind of fat that doesn't make you fat, it makes you thin. Well, it leads to you losing weight anyway. But all saturated fat from animals is extremely healthy. It's actually full of nutrients, and this is what they don't actually tell us. They tell us to cut the fat off, but it's full of nutrients. We must not go low fat.
Yes.
It's better to have a lower carbohydrate diet and a medium protein diet and a higher fat diet. Not so much fat that you can swim in it, but just leave the fat on your animal, not on your animal, sorry, leave it on your pork chop and your lamb chop and your roast chicken. Eat the skin. Eat as much skin as you like because it's good for you, it's delicious, and it's full of nutrients.
And all the processed sugars and all the processed wheats, that is the stuff that we want to avoid.
Yeah, this whole sugar thing, it's white poison and it's a killer. And what people don't know is that you can actually get up to 85 teaspoons of sugar before 11 o'clock every day. If you have cereal and toast and a cup of coffee with sugar and some milk and a sweetened yogurt and an apple, and then you have a muffin. Yeah, so if you have a kind of a health bar, these protein bars or these so-called healthy snack bars, and you extrapolate the carbohydrates into sugar from all of these, you have to divide your carbohydrate count by 4 to get your sugar per teaspoon. So if you've got 20 grams of carbohydrate, you're going to have 5 teaspoons of sugar. So if we take all the carbohydrates from our breakfast and the carbohydrates from a muffin, a Coke and a health bar, we can reach 85 teaspoons of sugar before 11 o'clock in one day. And is it any wonder that everybody's struggling with learning disorders, with inflammatory illnesses, with sleep disorders? They're addicted to sugar. And it's not an addiction like you have actually with a drug. You don't need any kind of medical intervention to get rid of this addiction. You must just stop it.
Stop it.
And the way that you
stop it.
and the way that you stop the hunger and the craving is to have a lot of healthy fat and a decent amount of protein. That will stop your sugar craving. It's that easy.
Yeah. And a simple thing like orange juice, or fruit juice, that people think sounds so healthy. It's just water and sugar,
Haley, you're absolutely spot on there. A glass of orange juice can give you up to 16 teaspoons of sugar. And don't think that your fizzy drink in a can is worse. It's as bad. milliliter for milliliter, you are getting the same amount of sugar. It's got different names, but it has the same effect. It's inflammatory, and it's really, really bad for you. I see miracles in people who stop sugar, grain, and seed oils, and sometimes dairy, not always, but those three, if you make those three changes, you change your fats, you stop your sugar, and you stop your grains, your life will change forever. I'm living proof. I should have been dead 22 years ago, and I'm here.
Kijk, ons is terug in die kombuis. Johan, vertel vir ons wat gaan jy maak?
Ons het daai deeg gemaak, dus in balletjies opgedeel. En hier is dit plat gedruk in 'n pizza basis. Dis jou basis nou, né? Wat basis maar net die koring en die water en die sout is.
En dit gaan ons bak.
Yes. Dan het ons vir 'n topping. Die bestanddele was ons tomaties en gedroogde tomaties en 'n bietjie heuning en olyfolie. Die resep is ook in die boek. Fantastiese topping net en ons lekker knoflook in. En die ander ding wat ons gedoen het is ons het maalvleis gevat en ons het eitjies en knoffeltjies en kruie ingesit en gaar gemaak en ons gaan nou bo op die topping sit, maar die topping gaan heel eers in die oond vir 7 minute. So die topping gaan in vir die basisse gaan in vir 7 minute en as dit uitkom, dan is dit al die toppings op.
En dan bak ons hom weer.
Ja, weer vir 7 minute. So 7 minute vir die basis en 7 minute vir die finale en om gaar te word.
Okay, so kyk as ons terugkom dan gaan ons hierdie pizza kan proe. Sien julle later.
My name is Ellis Heenan. I've been a pharmacist for over 50 years. I got involved in alternative medicine and during the 1990s consulted for a public company in private label marketing. The firm was more interested in the profit motive as opposed to the content of the vitamin, and I vowed one day that I would formulate my own multivitamin. Come and join me as I'd like to elaborate a little bit more on BioLife multivitamin. BioLife was formulated so that it had a wide range of vitamins, far more than most vitamins in the marketplace, and the quantity of each ingredient was far greater than most. Well, BioLife is certainly more affordable than most vitamins in the marketplace in terms of quality and price. It's available in a pack of 30, which is a 1 daily dosage, a month's supply, and then we have a family pack, which is a 6-month pack, which if bought in this fashion is even more affordable. By using BioLife multivitamins on an ongoing basis, consistently daily, you'll find that you'll reduce the incidence of disease and you will slow down the aging process. I'm 75 years old and you'll notice that my skin hasn't developed the age lines and the wrinkles that many of my age do have. BioLife is available in the Western Cape and Gauteng in various outlets such as pharmacies and health stores, and if you can't find it at one of those, you could go onto our website, which is www.biolifevitamins.com, and you could order online.
Welcome back, viewers. Sally, before the break, you were telling us a little bit about who you are, and then you and Hayla went into this big discussion about what we should eat and what we shouldn't eat, and all about the sugar that you made us all scared we're never going to touch sugar in our lives again. But Sally, tell us a little bit more about your nutrition career and how it's grown from where it started to where it is today.
I've seen just about everything from postnasal drip to cancer. And I even treat dogs. I'm not a vet, but I have treated a lot of animals and they're all well, so that's exciting, including my dog that had cancer 5 years ago and she's still cancer free. But anyway, I know this is about people, but I just wanted to throw that in. Yeah, not one single person I've ever seen has had a drug deficiency. So it's not that bad. Doctors are in any way to blame, but I think that is the model that they are taught. So I just try to bring about a change in their food. And what goes into your mouth is ultimately who you are going to become. There's a time and a place for drugs, without a doubt. But for all chronic disease, I would say that food is an answer to that. But you see, a lot of people don't understand what kind of food is actually going to heal them. So they think that they must have cereals and fruit and juices and things like that. That may help certain people. So ultimately, you really want to eat real food that God made from nature, as close to the ground as possible. Now, what I mean about close to the ground is that you want a single ingredient food, something that your grandmother would recognize, not a takeaway meal from the store that you bung into the microwave and 3 minutes later here's a meal. That is not proper food. That's not eating, that's processed food. But we want food, a real piece of meat, a real vegetable that we recognize that's fresh and actually smells like a vegetable. And then you need to make that meal from scratch with love for your family.
Thank you, Sally. So we're going to the kitchen and see what Johan is cooking up for us.
Kyk eens, ons is terug in die kombuis en Johan se pizza basis is nou gereed om gepak te word. Dankie, Johan.
Volgende is die toppings wat ons moet opsit. Kom ons begin. Ek sit gewoonlik so 'n eetlepel wat olyfolie op en ja, smeer hom net lekker. Okay, dan 'n bietjie knoffel. Wat is 'n pizza nou sonder 'n knoffeltjie?
Ja, nee, definitief.
En so die knoffel op. Kyk, ek is eintlik my ma noem my oordaad. Ek sit altyd te veel van dit op want ek love it.
Daar sê Johan, hy's uit die oondtyd en die kaas is gesmeld en hy lyk sommer heerlik. So ons gaan hom nou sny en dan gaan ons hom proe. So tot volgende keer, kykers, gaan maak hy pizza. Hy is in Johan se boek en hy gaan op ons webwerf wees. Tata.
15 jaar terug is ek gediagnoseer met multiple sclerosis. MS is 'n outoimmuun siekte waar jou immuunstelsel sy eie brein doodmaak. Vandag het ek vir jou goeie nuus. Go Natural sal jou lewe verander. 12 jaar terug het ek my tweede kans gekry, ek het hom gevat en my lewe is heel verander. Net soos ek beheer oor my gesondheid gevat het, so kan jy ook beheer vat oor jou eie gesondheid. Die inligting is daar. Jy kan dit doen. En die oomblik toe ek in die waarheid leef en besef my liggaam is selfinstandhoudend, hy is self-healing en hy is self-verdedigend en ek het hom optimaal gevoed om dit te kan doen. Go Natural, ons boek is beskikbaar in geselekteerde boekwinkels, maar as jy dit nie daar kan kry nie, is beskikbaar op ons webtuiste en ons lewer af deur tot deur reg oor die land. Die voordeel wat jy gaan kry ook aan daai boek is, daai boek het ook 72 resepte. Dit vat die beginsels wat in die boek staan en dan wys dit vir jou hoe dan om 'n voedsel te vervaardig.
Kykers, baie dankie dat julle vanaand by ons 3 gekuier het. Ons wil julle uitnooi om ons webtuiste te besoek en om aan te sluit by die Anti-Die Generation, sodat julle enige inligting wat julle dalk mag kort, wat julle nie na gekyk het nie, of wat julle dalk weer wil besoek, kan in die hande kry. So, gaan besoek gerus ons webtuiste en ons Facebookblad en sluit gerus aan by die Anti-Die Generation. En dan sien ons julle volgende Woensdag, selfde tyd, selfde plek, 8:30. Seën vir julle week en lekker slaap. Tata.